If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
It's time to hear from the general manager of the Utah Mammoth, Bill Armstrong, on your exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
So, Bill, I'm having a hard time. You know, we're technically in the media, so we're not supposed to have biases, but I'm all in on your team. I loved watching what you guys have done. So I think I represent a lot of fans out there that we're all recovering from a bit of a gut check check from last night. So how do you process what happened last night, and how do you get back into a groove and make sure that you can put that behind you?
Well, you got to stay even keel on this up and down, playoff full of emotions. And, it's for us on this side, you can't get too up, too down. And that's the old cliche, but it's true. Try to just always remember that you weren't as good as you thought you were in the win, and you weren't as bad as you thought you were in the loss. And then, we go to work the next day, get up and go to work the same way every day and just attack it. It's for us on this side, it's, hey, listen, we knew Vegas a tough team. They're a good team. They're not rolling over. So, it's a punch in the face competition. And, last night we didn't get everything that we wanted out of that game. I love the way that we fought back in that game, and we didn't roll over.
What do you feel like the key, Bill, was to that comeback? Was it just having something go right and then building off that momentum, or did you see something major league change?
Well, that's a little bit of maturity on our players. A few years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do that. And stay with it. We would have got all frustrated and taken dumb penalties and done all those little bad things. But the maturity of our players, the leaders that we have on our team, keep us focused and keep us going the right way in those tough times. And everybody's just like one shift at a time. We're going to find a way to score. Let's get her going. And they were good. The group stuck together. They never, they found ways to score, different ways to score, and just kind of fed off the momentum of the crowd. It was just crazy there last night. As soon as the first goal went in, I felt like we were going to score a whole bunch more, because just I don't know. It's incredible at the Delta Center. I mean, it just the fan base there with the towels and the music, and it gets pumping and we get rolling. It just gave us so much energy to fight back last night. So hats off to our fan base. It was incredible. Maybe the best in the NHL. I know it's the loudest, that's for sure.
Well, there's no doubt. And the environment for games 3 and 4 were just incredible, just off the charts. And you knew it was going to be that way. But when you see your team show that resiliency to come back from down 0-3, you take the lead 4-3. Is it sometimes as a young player learning how to, because we talk about dealing with adversity, but also dealing with prosperity and learning how to finish off a game when you fought back and took the lead instead of giving up that late goal?
Oh, there's a lot of learning last night, that's for sure. I think, when you're in those moments of the grind, and sometimes it feels like you're losing, or you take the lead and all of a sudden you're not used to playing with the lead in that game. There's a whole bunch of learning in there for sure. And I think our team kind of adapts as we move forward. We've got a lot of good leadership, and there's about 50% of our team that's got real good playoff experience. They help us kind of navigate those moments. But I like their team. Didn't end the way we wanted, but the fight was there, and they played the right way. And we'll always live with our team when we play hard. We play the right way, good things will happen. And if a mistake happens, we'll live with that all day long.
One of the things I find interesting is, coaching for 23 years, you get caught up in the moment some, and it's really good to have vision, and be able to stay even keel, like you said. Yeah. In this moment, this is a hard fought series, and one that, the greedy part of us all, we want to win this thing and play more hockey. At the same time, how valuable is this experience for these young guys to go through?
Well, it's huge for our team to kind of get in there. And, we've got a lot of guys like Simashev and Boot, and, we bring in some of our kind of our high-end prospects to watch some of the games that we play too. So it's hugely valuable just to get into it. We're forming a culture, and that's what it's about when you're here in Utah. You're going to fight to the end. You're going to fight for everything. And as we start to move through these playoffs for the first time, the culture even becomes stronger, and we try to make sure all our young guys are watching it too, just to see the fan base go crazy in that building and playing the right way in those big moments in playoffs. It helps. It's a lot of learning, but it's a lot of growth. And at the end of the day, we want to be a team that's in it every single year, swinging for the fences and trying to win a cup.
Did you immediately catch the offsides, or were you like everybody else? We're like, oh, wait a minute, we got to go back and look at this.
I was like, we have in the GM box, we have a TV, and we have somebody reading the plays, and they'll say, like, listen, good goal, and then you're okay, well, it's a good goal. They've checked the offside. They've checked the goalie interference. They can't see anything. It came out good goal. So I was halfway out the door. And they're like, whoa, there's a different angle on this one. I think it's offside. I was like, wow, we get a second life here. So that was pretty unbelievable. We were able to get the offside and challenge it and go back to work. But we got a second chance at life there last night.
What do your eyes tell you about the things that you probably need to deal with the most to win the series?
Well, for us is keep making adjustments, small little adjustments. We pounded them pretty good with our physicality last night. We put a lot of pressure on their D. We got a lot of turnovers. It felt like we did a lot of good things. We could score some goals. I think some of the stuff that we have to make sure we do better is move the puck better, be more effective at getting up the ice and make clean plays coming out. So it's tic-tac-toe, moving up that ice. Our bread and butter is off the rush, the speed of Logan Cooley and Keller and Smoltz. And if we don't move the puck clean coming out of our zone, we got a hard time building our speed through the neutral zone. So those are probably some of the key aspects we got to kind of focus on and improve on to go into Vegas and kick some butt here.
This year, experience the NHL playoffs your way. Want to watch a single, do or die Game 7, a full week of heavy-hitting back-and-forth series? Then check out Sling's 1, 3, and 7-day passes. Watch the Chase for the Cup on ESPN and TNT, starting as low as $4.99. No long-term contracts or overpaying. Just live hockey at home or when you want it. Sling lets you do that. Visit sling.com to learn more.
I know you weren't able to turn it into a goal. It almost looked like Logan was going to be able to get a goal off of it. But to me, the microcosm of who your team is right now is that Carcone hit in overtime that stole a possession. And I know you gave up kind of a fast break going the other way, and that was the goal that was waved off because of the offsides. But that just, to me, was like, that's who the Mammoth are, man, just laying it all out and trying to create as much havoc as possible.
There's a couple shifts where we got kind of pinned in our zone, and the difference is in playoffs than regular season is everybody's laying out trying to block shots, and they're doing whatever it takes to get the puck just out the other side of that blue line. And, there was like 4 or 5 times our guys were just sprawled out, just trying to block anything they could, trying to chip it out, find a way, in desperation mode to get that puck on the other side of the line. So, that's the greatest part of our team is that the first, the second, and the third efforts and the will to kind of, put yourself in harm's way for each other it's been impressive. They're an unbelievable group and only getting better.
With majority of the play in the series, like I saw number 45% in the offensive zone for the Knights. Veggie's done a really good job with a ton of volume. It looks like from a layman's perspective, but comment on your thoughts on how Veggie's playing in the series.
Well, they do a pretty good job of pinning us a lot of times in our zone, just the way that they play. I think they don't get a lot of offense off it. They just accumulate a lot of time in your zone. So you just really have to kind of be patient and use your energy wisely and find ways to get a hold of the puck. But Veggie's done a great job. He's made some huge saves for us. He's been a difference maker on the penalty kill too. So you're not winning without good goaltending. Show me a good coach, I'll show you a good goaltender.
And you mentioned the penalty kill. You guys have been, I think at 11% in terms of a power play, but penalty kill, after giving up that early one in the in game 2, you guys, I think, have killed the next 11 in a row. So you've got one side where you're just performing at a really high level, and then the other side that needs to pick it up a bit.
Yeah, and it's we missed a wide open net there. Michael Carcone had a chance at greatness there early on, and in the first, you get that goal, you're at 20% on the power play, so there's just a few things that haven't kind of clicked for us, but we got to go back and be better. You're not winning a playoff series unless you're good on the PP and PK, and we got to be better on the power play, and so. We had great chances, but they were one and done, and we've got to find ways to kind of have more of a play that you're in their zone more often, you're occupying their offensive zone, and you're not, going down the ice and having to break it out 5 times in the power play. So I think there's some adjustments there we can make to become a better team on the power play. But I like our overall game. Like I said, it's a pretty close series. It's a punch in the face competition. It's a physical competition out there. It's been great. I mean, you got to respect them. They're a good team, and so are we. And it's going to be unbelievable going into Vegas here and see if we can steal a win out of there.
So after all of the drama, the roller coaster you've been on, it's essentially 0-0 and a best of 3 series. What's the message to these guys, or do you even need to say anything to these guys? It's just they know the enormity of the situation they're in.
Well, you don't teach a baby shark how to bite. They just know how to bite, and our guys know they know the situation pretty well. They're pretty aware we got to go in there and play our best hockey of the year. And they know Vegas is going to come and try and punch us in the face. So it's certainly at this time of the year. Coaches have their mantras and everything they talk about, but our players know this is where you want to play. These are the big moments. We play 82 games a year. To get into this spot, to play, and these are the big moments. Play your best hockey at this time of the year, and it's. I think our players. I think the other thing about it, they've wanted to be in this situation so long. I think they've actually enjoyed our fan base and just playing in playoffs in front of our home crowd and being in this tight series. It's been a fun experience for our group.
So when I ask you this isn't trying to rub salt in the wound. I'm just trying to learn more about the sport and about, differing styles. Had you gotten to 3-on-3 with your speed, do you think you would have had the advantage in that second overtime? Yeah,
for sure. 100%. They wouldn't. I don't think they're going to touch us in the 3-on-3. It's a different game in playoffs. It's 5-on-5, and you have to play a certain way. And it definitely is a different game. But 3-on-3, we ended almost every 3-on-3 in our favor during the course of the year. We're pretty fast team that has some impact 3-on-3, and it happens pretty quick for us too. So would have loved to see them go 3-on-3. It's a suggestion you might want to put in the commissioner's box.
So when you and again, I know that I know your answer to this probably, but I feel like I have to ask. It felt like Hayton's getting close. McBain, we're not sure of. Any updates you can provide on those guys?
Well, they're all getting close. This time of the year, you never know. It's day to day. They're everybody's skating. Everybody's getting close to playing. So we'll see for the next game what we do in Vegas. But that's good news for us. Because you never know, it's a violent physical series out there, so you never know when someone's going down, and our boys are close to coming back here.
We have a show favorite, and it's Yamamoto.
Yes,
by the way, he's our guy. The pass he threw last night, he wristed that thing across. I mean, the dude's incredible. He makes plays all the time.
Yeah, I loved how physical he was for his size and the amount of force that he has impact with on his hits. He's been unbelievable. He's probably one of the team favorite guys. Everybody loves him just because he plays with such energy and such intensity, and he plays hard. I mean, I think he had 8 or 9 hits last night, and he was an impact player for us.
Well, it's interesting because I've got my 14-year-old son, and he's he wants a jersey, but he doesn't want to be like, he doesn't want to be the guy that wears the Tom Brady jersey. Like, he doesn't want the Cooley jersey because he wants more of a guy that shows he knows about the team. It's real easy to get the Cooley or the Gunther jersey. And so he's like, I think I want to go Yamamoto. And I'm like, well, let's wait till our guy Bill figures out what he wants to do in the offseason. Then we'll decide whether we're going to make that investment or not.
That's good.
Jersey
you never know. I've walked into some rinks and I've traded a few of the guys, and you see their jersey and you're like, oh, geez. It's a terrible feeling as a GM. Oh, I traded that guy. So
Anyway, no pressure there, Bill. Hey, we appreciate it though. Thanks for your time. Go get that. Go get that Game 5, and let's get it back here to Salt Lake for Friday.
Yeah, I appreciate your support, boys. Great talking to you.
You got it. There he is, Bill Armstrong, general manager of the Utah Mammoth.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life's sleep.
Having the right people in your corner for life's biggest milestones makes all the difference. Like a friend who's there when you're house hunting or checking out a new ride, State Farm is there too, helping you choose the coverage you need. With a State Farm agent, you know someone is there to help you along the way. And with so many coverage options, it's nice knowing you have help choosing a plan that fits your needs, so you can continue celebrating all of life's milestones. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.